When you're doing bandit signs, direct mail, or actually just trying to track the calls you get back from your cold calling, it's very important to track where your calls are coming from, the KPIs that you're actually getting from them, and most importantly, knowing the data so you know where to spend your valuable marketing dollars for your real estate wholesaling business. In today's video, I'm going to give you a complete breakdown on the Callrail call tracking software service. It's like Google Voice, but on steroids, and it's a little premium. It's not too expensive, but I'm gonna give you a complete breakdown of it. It's the actual call tracking service I use in my personal wholesaling business. No, I don't have any affiliates. I'm not associated with them. There's nothing about this. This is just the one that I use and the service I've had the best success with tracking all of my campaigns and with all my virtual wholesaling phone numbers. Hey guys, Zach Ginn here from Flip with Rick, where we just talk about real estate wholesaling. I'm not a guru. I give everything out for free. I absolutely just want to help you out in this business. So Callrail is the call tracking service I do use. And before I get into it, again, if you're getting any value from any of my videos, please smash that like button and subscribe so we can help this YouTube algorithm out. But basically, Callrail is the service I use. I've done it all before. I used to be heavy into bandit signs. I used to be heavy into cold calling. The true value that Callrail does give you is data. And data, as you know, is one of the most important pieces of information and one of the most valuable assets you have in your wholesaling business. Having the right data, especially in my wholesaling business with Callrail, helps me out so much, knowing that how well I'm actually doing on my campaigns for my bandit signs. It actually lets me create call flows for my RVMs, so I can create a little menu during the calls to actually flow everything through, so I could save a lot of money with VAs answering and save my acquisitions people money with everything. It's truly one of the most powerful tools. So this is a complete breakdown for you guys. So what exactly is Callrail? So I think I've answered a little bit about this before, but Callrail, again, is just a call tracking service. It has all my phone numbers for me. Just think about it as Google Voice, except I can have 50, 60, and hundreds of actual phone numbers on there. So what it basically does, it hosts all my phone numbers. It actually records all my phone calls through my direct mail and all my RVMs, things like that. My acquisitions people, they can actually do outbound calls. So if someone calls me on a postcard and I want to call the seller back, set the appointment, or I had a quick question for them, it actually all recorded. It lets me track everything because I'm a control freak when it comes to the numbers. I want what my numbers are for everything. And it really helps me just organize my business. So you just got to consider in your business, are you ready to actually scale up and start paying? It's about $30 a month. I would say $45 is really what you really need to get going on there. You get about 10 to 15 phone numbers and you get all the call tracking. You get a little app that helps you out a lot with it, and you can start using some more marketing channels in your wholesaling business. So let me go over some of the pros and cons of Callrail, some of the things I really like about it and the reasons why I love it so much. And then I'll go over some of the cons. So the huge pro I do love with Callrail, as you can see here on the picture, is this is the dashboard. It makes it very, very easy for you. So if I'm getting a call from my direct mail piece, it actually shows the actual name associated with the phone number, usually with the billing of it. If you go to like okcaller.com, it does the same exact thing. You can automatically tag calls coming in through the phone number. For example, if it's a direct mail one, it'll say direct mail Port St. Lucie on there. There's a little thingy right there where you can just press play and hear the recording of it. Very easy and simple like that. Especially in my business, I get calls all the time with my acquisitions people or VAs answering them. One will be from the cold calling callback, one from an RVM, one from a direct mail piece, some from bandit signs that I still get calls on for some reason, even though I don't do bandit signs much anymore. And the most important part, if I'm using postcards, if I'm getting calls from my postcards from, let's say, a probate letter that I mailed out and maybe a huge postcard one I mailed out in Port St. Lucie, and the probate one was all the way in Michigan, I know exactly my callbacks on each single one because we're spending so much money on direct mail. I have to know the numbers. So again, the biggest pro with Callrail is I can make phone numbers with an ease. With Google Voice, you really only have one phone number. You can create multiple accounts, but they'll catch you pretty easily on that. They'll just kick you out of there. So I can create phone numbers very easily. So for a guy that is in 5 virtual wholesaling markets and in my physical market here on the Treasure Coast here in Florida, it is so amazing. Again, if I work in the Palm Beach market, so in my market, the area code is 772. So I have a lot of phone numbers on there. With 772, I have a bandit sign number. I have a postcard one, a letter one, a probate phone number. But if I want to go to Palm Beach, I can't use the 772 area code because that area code is 561. So what I can do easily is just create a phone number with 561 and then use that for maybe a postcard or actually to cold call with it, and I can go from there. Conversely, if I go to North Carolina and I want to create a phone number, I can make as many phone numbers as I want. Obviously, I'm going to have to pay for that, but I can create as many phone numbers as possible. 10 starting out, especially at that $30 to $45 plan, extremely easy to do. The second biggest pro of it is call flows. Call flow, the simplest way I can really explain it is just by showing you and explaining it to you. So basically one call flow I have, it literally directs the call for you. For an example, on my postcards, the way I do it is a call comes in, you get a postcard, you dial that number, and you go 772-111-1111. You call it. What's going to happen is while it's dialing, it's going to go to my acquisitions agent to answer it. So if my acquisitions agent does not answer it, it'll go to my VA. So my acquisitions guy doesn't answer it within 10 seconds or 15 seconds, no matter what, I can set it to 20 seconds. Usually I put it around 20 seconds. If it's not answering 20 seconds, it'll go to either a VA for 10 seconds. And if that doesn't get answered for 10 seconds, it'll either go to me or a voicemail. Most likely right now it's going to a voicemail. If my acquisitions agent doesn't answer it in 20 seconds, maybe he's on an appointment getting a deal locked up, hopefully. Then most likely, especially for your business, it'll go to you and then you can answer it. So you make sure that someone's always answering that call live. That's pretty cool. It's a really cool service to do. And then it'll go in the voicemail, and then that voicemail can have the acquisitions agent's voice on there. That's another reason about 10 phone numbers. Google Voice, if you use one, your acquisitions agent can't have their voicemail sounding on theirs and then my voicemail sound on there. It's just going to be them on there, which is pretty cool. And then I can have my own one, which has my own voice on there. Then on another call flow type thing, I can actually have an RVM. So I think the only way to do RVMs in real estate wholesaling is through Callrail because of the call flow. So the reason why is I'll send maybe with a slide broadcast an RVM in the state of Arkansas, and I'll say, hey, my name's Zach. I'm looking to buy a couple properties for all cash. Sorry you didn't answer the phone there. If you can please just call me back. I'd love to have a conversation with you. They'll call back on that phone number or on that specific conversation. You say, actually, this is my business cell phone. Can you call me on my personal cell? Then you put the 772 or whatever area code that they have in there in Arkansas. They'll call that, and that will be actually a Callrail tracking number, so you can track how many callbacks you get from that broadcast that you spent $500 to $1,000 on. And then the call flow you can make on that, for example, I got to do a complete video on this, but it'll bring you to a menu, kind of like if you're calling AT&T or maybe just like a big hospital. They'll have these special menus going on with it, and it'll say, so it'll be a voice of me most likely, especially with the RVMs, it's just me on there. It says, hey, this is Zach. Thanks for calling me. Please press 1 if you want to be taken off the list. Please press 2 if you want to go talk to me personally. So they'll click 1 or 2. Usually it just cancels all the people that are just take me off your list, take me off your list. They'll press 1, they're off the list. Press 2, then it'll go to my acquisitions agent, or if you're just a lone wolf, to you, and it makes it very easy on the RVM side. The next pro here is it'll track your KPIs. Again, like it shows here, you can track how many calls you're getting per day. It'll show phone numbers getting called on there, maybe a direct mail one, maybe a probates. It just makes it very easy for my business. It saves me thousands of dollars on making the right marketing decisions, on getting the right deals. Again, it lets me know my data, which is just so valuable, guys. I'm telling you right now, data is everything in this business. And when you're getting in such a crazy saturated market, sometimes you want to know if probates are really hot, you're getting a really good response rate with that type of letter you're sending, or if, Port St. Lucie is doing really well for you, or maybe another city is not, especially for me. You can track how many calls you're getting. So if you have one Google Voice, you don't know where that call is coming. Maybe you can know if your Carrot website is doing really well, you're getting a lot of calls. How did I get that deal? You go back and you look, I actually got a call from a Carrot website. Someone called me from Facebook ad I ran with that phone number there. You can do it pretty well, and it's very interesting. Again, you can actually record the conversations, and it's all recorded automatically for you, unlimited. That's the way I actually love it. And what you can do from there is just check on your acquisitions person, or actually check back on yourself, especially answering postcards and getting calls from postcards. You're having a conversation with the person, they're telling you all this information, and you're trying to write it down, but it's like impossible for you to write all the information down. You're trying to get the rapport started. You're just trying to focus on the conversation, setting the appointment. It'll help you a lot. And most of the time, I think us real estate wholesalers get caught in this all the time. This is probably the most valuable part for me. is when I used to do this all myself, in between car rides, driving hours and hours, just every which way, going from Port St. Lucie to Palm Beach, then to Stuart, Florida. When I was driving, I'll get calls from the direct mail pieces that I sent out because I'm in between appointments, and I don't have notes when I'm driving. I can't be writing things down. I'm going to get in a car crash. It's terrible. So when I'm actually talking to someone, it's like, hey, what's the condition of the property? Is the roof new? Really interesting. What was your brother's name? He's an heir also to the property. And they'll say John, but you can't really write all that John stuff down, but it's actually recorded. So when you go back home and you're putting everything into your Podio or your CRM, you actually go back to that recording and hear what they're saying about the property. It's huge. It's really awesome. And it's another way that I can save all this information. So you don't go back and call, hey, I was actually driving. I didn't get any of the information you said. Also, the seller thinks that you paid so much good attention and you actually memorized their conversation very well, even if your memory's not that good. So it helps you really well in that recording situation. Also, there's a mobile app. So if I had to go call a seller really quick on my phone, I can actually not use my own personal phone. I can use maybe that postcard one that they got called on. So if someone's answering you on a postcard, let's say the special 772 phone number, I don't have to use a Google Voice. I can call them back from that phone number. I'll know exactly who's calling me. Another big benefit of Callrail. Another huge pro I could say about Callrail is I can actually export all the postcard calls I got, the RVM calls. When I get those calls, it actually collects all those phone numbers and I can export every single postcard, probate call, code violation call, RVM call that I got. I can export it all for 2020, all the calls I got, thousands and tens of thousands of phone calls coming in. I can export that list with all the phone numbers and names on it because, again, like I said, Callrail tracks all the names. And then I can throw that huge list into an SMS campaign or maybe even into an RVM campaign or a cold calling campaign again. And you can definitely get leads from there all the time. And it works very well, I'm telling you. It's a very valuable list that I've done. It's very niche, but with Callrail, you can absolutely do it. And one of the last pros of Callrail that I really love is it'll keep your recording for a very long time. So I just did a deal with another seller, made $30,000 from the wholesale deal. Again, I don't show you every single deal I do. So this one, there was nothing really crazy. The guy just wanted to sell his property. He wanted to retire to like Rhode Island. And my acquisitions guy got it all locked up, easy to go. And it was interesting because there's a little green dot next to every phone call that's brand new, that's not in the system. And it wasn't a green dot. I actually looked it up, reverse engineered it, and I just wanted to see how he got that really good deal and how I could do to even do more of them, because I love looking at stats on our really good deals. And I looked at it and there was no green dot. And I looked it up and actually went into and searched. I did a big export search on the past 5 years in the whole business. And I looked up his phone number and it said that he actually called 2 years ago. He called me 2 years ago and actually heard the recording. And he basically said, hey, take me off your stinking list. I don't want to be on this list anymore. And I didn't take him off the list. But eventually I learned that 2 years later, he called back on the new postcard that we sent him and said he wanted to send it. So it just showed that guy was still in our system. And I could have collected that phone number and retexted him all the time, which would have been really valuable. And just shows, again, another lesson. I mean, this is a Callrail video, but if people aren't interested in selling their property 2 years before, they might be interested now, and it's really valuable to do. So it just keeps all that data for you. And lastly, you can block phone numbers. So if someone just says something crazy like, I'm going to sue you for all your money, I'm an attorney, blah, 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 you can block them, take them off your list. And then if they try to call you back, let's say they said that on a bandit sign, or maybe they said that on a actual cold call, on a voicemail they call you back on, you can block them. So if you actually send a direct mail, when they call, it'll be instantly blocked. So it's really easy to do from there. And that's it, guys. That's the pros of Callrail. Some of the cons I can tell you is it's not free. It's a tad expensive for people that are used to free stuff. $30 to $50. We're way above that in our personal business, but it's so valuable for us as a tool. It's amazing. I would say another con of it is there is a little learning curve. I'd say about a week, or take you about a week to actually learn the whole system and get really comfortable with it. So there's a tad learning curve. Not as easy as Google Voice, where you just pick it up in like an hour or two. And the last con is the texting. You do have texting with Callrail. It's a little limited and it's a little bit of a mess, I would say. It's not as easy to call through Callrail as if you're personally texting with your phone number, but again, it's still worth it. So I'd still recommend it. But overall, that is Callrail. That's the complete breakdown of it. It's a really good service. I do think if you're starting to make some money in this business, you should definitely have it. If you're looking to make $100,000 per year in profit, you don't need any tools, but this one will make your life a lot easier and it'll help you scale up to $200,000, $300,000, $400+ thousand per year in profit in real estate wholesaling. So I truly appreciate you guys watching this video. If you got any value, again, please smash that like button, subscribe, comment below any questions you have about Callrail, any comments. What service do you use? I know some people use Vumber. I think Callrail is just like Vumber, but it's a lot more advanced. It's usually the same cost. That's why I do recommend Callrail. And let me know any of your opinions or thoughts on it, any video suggestions. I'd really appreciate it. I'm trying to do a video day here on the Flip with Rick channel. So if you can, please smash that like button and subscribe. I truly appreciate you guys watching this, and have a blessed day.